In this episode, a holiday on a cruise ship goes horribly wrong when 58-year-old Caroline Diplacido snorkels in the pristine coastal seas off the Bahamas. Little does she know that she's snorkeling in shark-infested waters where just 3 years before, a young American tourist was killed by a feeding frenzy of 3 tiger sharks. Hit like and subscribe. This is Fierce. One of the world's largest cruise ships, Harmony of the Seas, owned by Royal Caribbean, offers unforgettable experiences for its passengers. With swimming pools, climbing walls, and zip lines on board, to fine dining restaurants, spas, and a fitness center, the incredible cruise ship has something for everybody as it island hops through the Caribbean. With a capacity of more than 6,500 passengers, Harmony of the Seas must ensure that each and every one is kept safe. But when its customers climb off the ship and enter the water, safety cannot be guaranteed. One of the most popular activities offered by many cruise ships is the chance to go snorkeling at one of the many places where they moor up. And where better to do that than in the crystal clear waters of the Caribbean? On Sunday, September 4th, 2022, Caroline Diplacido and 4 of her family members boarded the ship at Port Canaveral in Florida and set sail for a 7-day cruise. Caroline lived and worked in Erie, Pennsylvania. She had attended Gannon University as a student, and now at the age of 58, she worked there. She was certainly well known and well liked, described as a powerful presence of kindness and friendship to colleagues, students, and the wider community. She and her husband David had 3 children, Allison, Robert, and David. She loved having a full house. She loved having the children's friends over when they were younger, a constant revolving door as people came and went. This cruise was a holiday that the family had been looking forward to for a long time, and now the time had come. 2 days after leaving Florida, the ship moored up just off Nassau on the island of New Providence. Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas, is famed not only for its beautiful beaches, but also for its coral reefs, which entice snorkelers and divers to view the incredible marine wildlife. It was Tuesday afternoon on September 6th, and Caroline and her family left the cruise ship to join an independent company for a snorkeling adventure. They had booked the excursion weeks before joining the cruise ship. Their destination was Rose Island, known by some locals for its sharks that are drawn to the reefs and their prey that live amongst the coral. Only 3 years earlier in 2019, a young American tourist was killed just off Rose Island by at least 3 tiger sharks that pounced on her as she snorkeled in the clear waters. She was a 21-year-old university student, Jordan Lindsay, who was on her 3rd day of a family holiday. Tragically, the family decided on a last-minute snorkeling trip that cost the youngster her life. Her mother heard her yell out, "Mom!" and when she looked around, she thought her daughter was surrounded by dolphins. But the dorsal fins slicing through the water weren't from animals that were there to play. They belonged to a trio of tiger sharks. Suddenly, one ripped Jordan's arm from her body. She screamed, and her mother swam to her rescue. But as she was fighting off one shark, she heard her daughter yell out again, "Mom, there's another one coming!" And the 3rd shark struck Lindsay again. She had been bitten all over her body. She had lost her arm, and she was drifting in and out of consciousness as she was hauled into a motorboat. Sadly, the young student lost her life before making it to the hospital. Now, 3 years later, Caroline entered the water in almost exactly the same spot. The sunshine glinted and glimmered off the sea. The visibility underwater was good. The clear sea was inviting. After pulling on a mask and snorkel, Caroline floated at the surface with her face underneath. The beautiful corals were beneath her, with brightly colored fish darting about. Sea urchins clung to the rocks. Sea anemones waved in the gentle motion of the sea. The muffled sounds of the underwater world filled her ears. But there was danger nearby. A top predator was closing in on the reef. Swimming along the drop-off where fish accumulated, it sensed prey was nearby, drawn by the vibrations, sounds, and smells. It moved closer, propelling itself through the water with its powerful tail. A hunting machine. An opportunistic hunter, a bullshark. Bullsharks join tiger sharks and great whites as the 3 most dangerous species of shark. They are naturally aggressive and inquisitive and frequent warm coastal waters. For this reason, they are responsible for a number of attacks on humans each year. They typically eat fish, but will also prey on dolphins and even other sharks. Unprovoked, they can bite a human to determine if it's prey or not, but all too often, that initial bite can be fatal. This particular bull shark spotted Caroline at the surface. She floated above, her body silhouetted against the bright afternoon sunshine. The shark came in from below. The power of the strike would have knocked the air from her lungs. Some describe it as feeling like being hit by a bus. Caroline felt the full force of the attack as it smacked into her. It clamped its jaws around the side of Caroline's torso, locking its teeth onto its prey. Caroline let out a yell, and her family looked up. They could see the attack unfolding. They could see the water bubbling and boiling around Caroline as she wrestled with the shark. Then it let go. A moment of thrashing around, a single bite. That's all it took for the damage to be done. Rushing to her aid, Caroline's family pulled her from the water. She had lost a lot of blood. The trauma to her left side was severe. A large bite taken out of her torso. She was rushed by the tour boat to nearby Fort Montague on the eastern shore of New Providence Island. In the boat, her family tried to stem the bleeding. Crew members tried to revive her as she was now unresponsive. Her daughter tried to keep her alive. She tried to resuscitate her, but tragically, Caroline was pronounced dead when she arrived on the island. Obviously, it was an incredibly shocking incident for the family. They lost a wonderful member of their family that day. A mother, wife, grandmother, sister, and auntie. The dream holiday had come crashing down to a devastating and tragic end. Shark attacks in the Bahamas are happening more often now. The chances of being attacked by a shark still remain incredibly rare, a likelihood of around 1 in 3 million. But in 2019 alone, there were 2 shark attacks in Bahamian waters, one of them fatal. Since 1749, there have been 32 reported shark attacks in those waters, compared to just 13 in nearby Cuba. Most of the shark attacks in the Caribbean are centered around the Bahamas. Marine biologists say this is because of the large number of people who venture into the water there, and the fact that the Bahamas has a robust ecosystem with a healthy population of sharks. Caroline will be sorely missed by all who knew her. She was a powerful presence of kindness and friendship. She was described as a person whose caring gestures were limited only by the number of hours in a day.